After the thunderous reception of former President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday in Nyayo at Raila Odinga's requiem mass, everything seemed to have changed. You could actually feel that the crowd wasn't just cheering power. They were cheering truth, loyalty, and history. And that truth is what will hit William Ruto after Raila exit. And the truth is about doing the right thing instead of surviving on temporary political excitements. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our videos. In this podcast, I'll show you something that happened in the dais, why MPs across the political divide are now eyeing and trooping around former President Uhuru Kenyatta. It is crystal clear that the president's political career is on the life support, and yesterday the entire nation watched it flatline in real time. The man who once bragged of sending Baba to Bondo is now the one lost in the political wilderness, abandoned by the very people he was depending on. And I can see here that Ruto will soon start plotting for Uhuru Kenyatta handshake, not out of the national interest as always spoken, the narrative that is always packaged for public, but as a desperate move to save what's left of the sinking legacy. Because the events of June 24, 25 and his political soul died yesterday. Odinga constituency opened their arms for Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru was closer to Raila than actually President Ruto. And that bond was very clear for all to see at the moment Odinga's body was lying in the casket. That is why mourners at Nyayo Stadium momentarily forgot their grief and broke into cheers when Uhuru appeared. He seemed to have brought relief to the country. They could feel the genuineness in his tribute. It was deep, heartfelt, and real. Every word he spoke resonated with the people, and they actually responded with affirmation. And it was very clear that there is something that people got from Uhuru's message. But that is the same crowd that completely went cold in the contrary when William Ruto came out. But out of the respect for Uhuru, who was present and for Raila's body lying there, they chose silence, not even a murmur. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, there is something that happened in the dais, and we are going to look at it. I'm going to show you it, and that is probably one of the signals that is giving William Ruto sleepless nights ahead of Raila burial tomorrow, because at this critical stage, there is something called protocol going on. When Uhuru arrived in the dais, the VIP dais, he went and sat somewhere, his designated place. And there came this video, this 7-second video, and I went to watch it twice, so I've looked at it, of Sifuna going for handshake with him and also informing him that Kalonzo is around, and he didn't hesitate.
Ambaye pia amefika uwanjani huu. Tumkaribishe tafadhali His Excellency the Vice President Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki. Karibu sana Naibu wa Rais. Pia tunampokea sasa ambaye pia amefika uwanjani huu. Tumkaribishe tafadhali His Excellency, the Vice President, Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki. Karibu sana, Naibu wa Rais. Pia tunampokea sasa.
He actually crossed the dais to go and greet Kalonzo. Now, as you watch, if you watch this video, you will also look at another photo here, where by the time he was greeting Kalonzo, Sifuna-Ichun'gwa was standby. Probably was looking for handshake, to have a handshake with former President Uhuru Kenyatta. That was the first time probably he was getting that opportunity to have the handshake with Uhuru. That did not happen then. But he didn't relent. Immediately Uhuru Kenyatta went back to his seat. Sifuna-Ichun'gwa followed him. And you can see here. And akaenda nyuma yake where Sifuna was, and he got that handshake. So people felt the relief, and the presence of Uhuru Kenyatta was not just felt uko kwa crowd. Even in the dais, you could see Sifuna and others really stretching for that handshake. And Uhuru made a deliberate move and went to greet Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, who was across the other side of the dais, seated with the other cabinet secretaries, and he went there. When he went there, it's him who went to look for Kalonzo. And at that point, maybe they just realized that things will get there. Now, the reception that Uhuru got threw the deep state into confusion.
Of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, to come and greet me, fellow mourners, to request our former president, the fourth president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, to come and greet us and say pole. Mr. President.
Asanteni sana. Asanteni sana. Mama Aida Odinga, Rosemary Asante sana. Nimeshukuru. Thank you. Asanteni sana. Asanteni. Nianze tena niseme Mama Aida Odinga.
Of what or how they will likely handle the events, the funeral service that is going to happen in Bondo. Remember, the state service, it was cool to ensure that the people that have been with Odinga, including Kalonzo Musyoka, would get that fine opportunity to share their last moments with Odinga. When Uhuru took to the podium, he actually overpowered it. So the moment they realized that that crowd embraced Uhuru, what will happen in Bondo tomorrow? And I want to tell you, people, the issue of it really threw the state into confusion. How else they do it? But I think ordinarily what should happen is that, yes, the state realized that anti-Uhuru voices are being embraced, anti-Ruto voices was being embraced in Nairobi during that Requiem Mass, Would that be the situation in Bondo? I think it would be worse. And at this point, Odinga family must take charge and ensure that the national political interest of the state is not advanced at behest of mourning Raila Odinga. Because this is the truth. The truth here is, William Ruto would feel embarrassed if he gives a microphone to a leader like Kalonzo and Martha Karua, and they are embraced in that funeral, while he takes the microphone and doesn't get such reception. And again, they are all, the state, the President Kenya Kwanza team are also eyeing the Odinga constituency. So anyone who they can perceive as a competitor in the caliber of Kalonzo Musyoka will be persona non grata according to the state. But it is the responsibility of Raila family. And I'm saying Raila family because even the other leaders are not really firm on this. They're sharp division. If you allow the people that are singing broad-based to decide that, even if they will not allow some other people to talk. Raila Odinga was not a property of a few. Raila Odinga was known and has served his political life for long. As I said, I would want to see the likes of Jimmy Wanjigi. I would want to hear tributes from S.K. Basharia, tributes from Kalonzo Musyoka, tributes from Uhuru Kenyatta, tributes from other friends outside the country, people from the business sector. Because not that he only had friends in the political arena. We want to hear across a speech from someone from Ogiek community, from Maasai. It should not be laid narrow. And I can tell you that with the Uhuru reception, it is really giving them a headache as to whether they... And remember, after Raila burial on Sunday, the whole country is heading to Kitui for a Mashujaa Day celebration. Kitui is Kalonzo's county. So you also need to... There is no option. Because if you humiliate Kalonzo in Bondo, then you would actually suffer the same humiliation in Kitui. The event is going to be held in Kitui, and many of residents there, the Kamba Nation is going to be there in their numbers. There are camps that are likely to get worried after Raila exit. And that's why you see people coalescing around Uhuru Kenyatta. Politicians who queue for party tickets as the only way, but without a tangible track record. There are those who also preach tribal hate on their way to power. This is very common in Mount Kenya and the Luo Nation. There are those who are banking on Ruto euphoria for track record. Ruto is already being discredited by the masses and manufacturing revenge agenda after Raila's death. There are some people that are saying, so-and-so is crying, so-and-so is laughing us, so we must revenge. There is nothing like someone is laughing. No one is... Death is something very natural. Hakuna venye unaweza simuka useme sasa so-and-so is happy. No one is happy. Yes. I think across the country, and death is death. Hakuna venye you start saying, they laughed us. Who laughed you where? And failing to attend is not an offense. I saw some people say, Rigathi Gachagua did not attend Raila funeral. We cannot listen to him. Come on, guys. So that's camp that is manufacturing those revenge messages. Those ones are short-lived. By 2027, mambo zitanyooka. And on this one, let's meet in the next.
And I've said that if I were to die and God asked me, where do you want to be born again? I would tell him, take me back to Kenya. So all that we need is to make this country a better place for our people to live in. And that's the reason why the current campaign that is going on to fight the vice that is one of our major enemies, corruption, has our full support. And we've said that it must be fought to the logical conclusion. In conclusion, I want you to look at your neighbor and shake hands. And shake hands with your neighbor. May the Lord bless all of you. Thank you.
Baada ya kazi tukiwa tulia kidogo hapo nini, tunapewa kitu kidogo hapo. Kwani mnacheka? Mimi kitu kidogo nasema uji na chai. Lakini wakati tulikuwa tunapiga gumzo, saa nyingine tulikuwa tunajiuliza, unajua jamani, wale wazee ambao wameenda, wakina Jaramogi, wakina Jomo, wakina Nkrumah, wakina Mwalimu Nyerere, jameni, unafikirianga wakiketi wanaongeanga mambo gani? Mimi nilikuwa nasema unajua wanaongea siasa kama sisi, wanatuangalia tu na mambo hii yetu ya upuzi hapo, wanatuchekelea. Anasema lakini unajua I'm very keen kujua. Sasa ndugu yangu, umeenda mbele yangu, sasa tayari najua mnajiongeleshana huko, na sio ati niko na haraka ya kuja kuwafikia, lakini bado tunataka tutulie kidogo. Mwenyezi Mungu atusaidie, lakini najua wakati wetu tukifika utakuwa hapo kutuambia njia ya kutembea hizo mabarabara za huko. Kwa hivyo ndugu yangu, ni kuombee kwa Mwenyezi Mungu akurehemu, akulaze na amani na wenzako, ukijua ya kwamba twakumbuka wewe na yale ambao umebakisha tutaendelea nayo, na familia yako sasa imekuwa yetu, na tutaendelea kuwalinda na kuwachunga na kusimama pamoja nao kwa wakati wote. Nasema lala salama ndugu. Mungu awabariki familia yako na awafariji na awapatie nguvu, na Mungu aendelee kuibariki Kenya hii yetu, Afrika Mashariki na Afrika kwa jumla. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki.